Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Ukrainians reported that last night, on the 8th of May 2023, the Russians launched the largest attack on Kiev since the beginning of this war. According to them, exactly as of now, 35 drones were launched on Kiev, all of them destroyed. Okay, according to the Ukrainians. The debris caused some damage, but that's it. On top of that, the Russians also launched some attacks on other cities in Odesa Oblast and some other locations in Ukraine. I have here 3 articles that will tell us about the attack on Ukraine on the 8th of May 2023. So I'm going to start with this one first, that is a general piece of information. This comes from, Reuters, and it's at the bottom of an article saying that it added, in addition to the 35 drones launched on Kiev, 61 airstrikes and 52 attacks from the heavy rocket salvo fire systems were launched over the past day on the positions of Ukrainian forces and populated areas. So 61 strikes and 52 attacks. All right, so that's another piece of information that, the Russians somehow, they still have missiles and drones. And we're going to go to this article, which says Russian forces fired KH-22 missiles at the warehouse of a food company and recreation area on the Black Sea coast, according to a spokesperson of the Odesa military administration. There were no reports of casualties. So this is on top of the 35 drones from this article, Russia from Kiev Independent, from yesterday, May 7th. And we go to this first article that is going to tell us, because I think it's the most detailed about the attacks at Odesa Oblast that occurred overnight as it occurred on Kiev. The Kiev Independent reports that Russia launched 8 KH-22 missiles at Odesa Oblast overnight. Now this is from May 8, 2023. Russian troops fired up to 8 KH-22 cruise missiles at Ukraine's southern Odesa Oblast overnight on May 8. Air Force spokesperson Yuri Ihnat said on national television, as cited by Ukrainska Pravda publication, and I'm quoting, "Some of them didn't reach their targets, possibly due to self-destruction or their age, because they are outdated Soviet missiles," the military official added. As I said, the Russians are somehow portrayed as, still living in caves and, hunting and gathering societies, and that's what they are. It's unbelievable, man. But they send people in space and rockets and all that. It's just, but I'm pretty sure all that was stolen from the Germans and then from the Americans. Why the Germans? Because they got about 20% of their scientists after the Second World War. The rest were apprehended by the Americans. But hey, we invent everything. Okay, let's keep going with this BS here. Russia used the same missile, Soviet-era KH-22 Buria Storm, also known by its NATO reporting name AS-4 Kitchen, to hit a residential building in Dnipro on January 14, killing 40 civilians and injuring over 70. Everything civilians, everything infrastructure. And the American public would say, oh my God, these guys are just criminals. Aim only for them. All right, Ukraine's Air Force earlier reported that Russian forces have attacked Odesa Oblast using Tupolev-22 M3 long-range bombers from the Cape Tarkankut in Russian-occupied Crimea. The warehouse of the food company and the recreation area on the Black Sea coast were hit, according to this spokesperson for the Odesa military administration. No casualties were reported. Russia also struck Kiev with Iranian-made Shahed 136/131 drones overnight on May 8, injuring at least 5 people. Let me add that they didn't injure them because they struck them, because they were all blown up in the air with so fantastic air defense systems that the Ukrainians have now from the US military industrial complex, so by them. And it was just from the debris, you know, so they hit them in the air and then the debris just scattered all around, which is possible, but I would say they would, I have doubt that it really occurred like that. Some of them I'm guessing occurred like that, but as I said in the other article that other video that I just posted, specifically about the Kiev drone attack, it's possible, but not very probable that all 335 drones were hit, unless those were old drones and bad drones, child drones, and these guys are so high tech that. But somehow those drones made it to Kiev. From where? Just look over the map and see how far they had to travel to get to Kiev without any problems. Just pop, 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 pop. And when they got to Kiev, where they have the Patriot systems, obviously, and who knows what, they destroyed everything. So this is another attack. It seems like the Russians have only Soviet era and I know Iranian drones. They don't have anything anymore. We're gonna probably use slingshots from now on. I know that's domestically manufactured because that's how they are, and they will start cutting some trees and get some manufacture some clubs so they can go and fight like that. All right, by the way, the Russians are all in animal skins dressed like that, and they have only feathers in their asses, so they know they're you know, Ivan or Vladimir or I don't know, Sergei or something like that, Sergei or whatever. It's and then when you say when you hear these guys here in the Western world, if you dare to hint that someone might be, I don't know, a dumbass, or someone might be, I don't know, a little bit oh my God, you're generalizing a group of people. How? If you just refer to one like that, or say, hey, you're lazy, or I don't know, you're always late. Ooh, you know what I mean? And oh my God, you're generalizing, and then start calling you names. But with the Russians, open season, man. You can call them however you want. And you don't even have to call them, as they call them, criminals and all this, and killing only children and pedophiles and all that. You just have to imply by how I explained the drone thing. I don't have to, it's like I say, well, I don't want to insult you, but all the cars you have are breaking down in the first 5 minutes. After you put them on the road. What does that mean? That you're a loser. You don't know anything. So I didn't call you stupid. I didn't call you, you know, inefficient. I just said that your cars that you manufacture die in the first 5 minutes. I call you a crook because you sell a product that is gonna die in 5 minutes. I call you a, you know what I mean? Basically, you're not good. Oh, well, you can call the Russians however you want, it seems like. But if you tell someone for good reason that or that, oh no. You see, those were built in the Soviet era. By whom? By the Americans or by the Soviets? And the Soviets were made out of what? Ukrainians, Moldovans or Romanians. I'm not going to call them Moldovans. Romanians, Russians, and all other you know, areas. I think even by the Latvians and Lithuanians and Estonians. So maybe they are also participants in this war, in these crimes, because they manufacture these kind of things, or at least they brought something. They were in the same group. They're putting the same weight with everybody else. So maybe we should start asking for some reparations from these guys, Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. No, and Ukraine too, because they participated in building these weapons that right now kill innocent civilians. I mean, if we're dumb like these guys here, we can use the same I don't want to call it line of reasoning, because there's no line of reasoning. It's just putting together whatever to fit a narrative, and at the end, that's what I'm gonna do by putting all this together. And in this case are the Ukrainians and the Baltic states, and not only. So, but they use this kind of method in their analysis if they want to take care of you or me. They use it and they accept it. Why? Because it's among them. They don't care about, all right, let's find out what happened. No, I don't like you, and I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna find all this. I'm gonna make it in such a way that it's gonna be you. I read about a little article about that attack on in Texas. Attack. I think it was a car that hit some people over there. Well, they immediately started painting the I don't know, I didn't even bother to read further because the headline told me everything I needed to know about the whole article. They blamed a certain kind of ideology and a certain kind of group, and I said, okay, all right, but how did they get to that point, if that's true? They just woke up? Or maybe you bear some responsibility for creating such a great culture that might push these people to think that way. No, it's not our fault, it's you, just, Anyway, you know what I mean, exactly what I mean. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. They still have missiles, and they fly to payloads.